Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV now on YouTube. Our address is very simple. It's youtube.com/NDTV, and this is your one stop to all the updates and detailed analysis actually of stories that you, the viewer, have chosen for us. This is the top stories segment where every morning on Good Morning India, I give you 5 stories to pick on, and the ones that get most attraction from you is what you and I discuss here on our YouTube channel. So let's get started with today's poll. Well, today 70% of you have actually wanted to know about why and how come 4 days on no arrests have been made for the JNU violence. Well, it's an important story. It's an important question to ask at this point, but a question we don't have an answer to really. This is something we've been hoping to hear from the Delhi police, but currently there are no answers that we have got. At the moment, over the violence that took place on the 5th evening, that is on Sunday evening, where at least 34 to 40 students and teachers had to be taken to the trauma center after being beaten up brutally after the mayhem that was really caused at the JNU campus. At the moment, there are no arrests, and Delhi Police crime branch, they're very equipped and specialized crime branch is looking into the matter. But so far, the main FIR on that case, on the incident of that case, has no names on it, has no identifications. And of course, that has led to no detentions and no arrests. Delhi Police earlier was telling us that they're going to look into CCTV footage, the various WhatsApp group screenshots that were doing the rounds. But despite all of it, what exactly is the progress on the case? We do not know. Mum's the word from Delhi Police. Meanwhile, while Delhi Police sits on it, we have now news just coming in that the Vice Chancellor, whose role also has come under immense criticism, remember, has now ordered and set up a committee to look into what exactly happened. And I have the notification here, which is signed by Dr. Pramod Kumar. It goes on to talk about the names of the professors who are going to be part of this committee and will be looking into the matter. It says the Vice Chancellor has set up a committee consisting of the following to inquire into the whole incident of violence that took place on campus on the 5th of January. Now, this is important because they're not talking about incidents earlier, the 3rd and the 4th, which was being alleged by the Delhi Police, which was being alleged by the ABVP. The JNU administration has already filed an FIR in that case against the leaders and the student leaders of the left parties. One FIR actually names Oishi Ghosh, who was at the receiving end of a lot of violence. So that aside, this committee filed by the VC will only be looking into the violence that happened on the 5th. It has about 5 professors on it, and one of them, the chairperson, Professor Sushant Mishra, will now be the chairperson of this committee, and he has been asked to submit a report as soon as possible. That's the latest coming in from him. But while this committee has been set up, students, teachers from JNU and civil society are already on the streets. Just come and look at this poster over here, the call for the protest that happened. This protest march was called in today by students, by Teachers Association and by several other civil society. They all promised to be there, march from Mandi House all the way to the MHRD. And the call was for getting justice and perhaps quick inquiry, speedy inquiry into what happened on the 5th, and also asking for the removal of the VC himself. Now, like I said, I'll tell you more about the role of the VC in all of this. Well, we've been talking continuously about the fact that the VC, and it's something I witnessed. I spoke with students and teachers at the campus, and they said that despite so many days of violence being on and such brutal attack on students and teachers inside JNU, the Vice Chancellor, who stays inside the campus, hasn't really stepped out and tried to reach out to the students at all. In fact, the Vice Chancellor this morning gave quite a bizarre statement. Let me take you to that first up. He said, and he talked about the visit, the surprise visit of Deepika Padukone. He almost mockingly said the great personalities who visited the campus, where were they when there were calls of protests being taken out, and where were they when there were certain people inside the campus who were not allowing classes to function? Let me quote you from what the Vice Chancellor there, Jagdish Kumar, had to say. He is, of course, facing intense criticism at this point for his role and his incompetence and perhaps delayed response in the violence that took place. He said he did not name actor Deepika Padukone, mind you that. He did not name her at all, but he said, "I would like to ask all those great personalities coming to support the agitators, what about thousands of students and teachers who are deprived of their rights of doing research and teaching? Why can't you stand with them?" He said this to a news agency, and this was, of course, in response to the fact that this picture, the iconic one of Deepika Padukone being at the JNU campus, has now become the talk of the town. Deepika Padukone has pretty much made it more mainstream, legitimized it in so many ways, and given standing in solidarity with students has meant a lot for the student galvanization, really, and the student movement, the resistance that we are seeing by them in the country. So this sort of weird response, if I can call it that, from the VC, dismissing Deepika Padukone, not naming her, not saying anything else, but just saying these great personalities who are visiting, where were they earlier on? Apart from that, like I said, the march, while he was making these statements, while he was setting up an inquiry to finally look into what happened on the 5th from the JNU administration point of view, a protest march is being carried out in the national capital from the Mandi House all the way to the MHRD. Now remember, we've been telling you continuously that what happened in JNU is not related to CAA. What happened in JNU was a tussle that has been going on in the campus for over 70 days, almost 80 now, where against the fee hike. JNU has been resisting a very drastic fee hike in the campus, and they did not want, the student body and the union there did not want a new semester to begin under those new fee hike. And that's why the tussle actually was there. The atmosphere in the campus was tense, which actually ended up ending into a very bloody battle, really, and a bloody attack on the student union body who was actually resisting that. So the students of JNU, along with teachers, along with civil society, were going to march today from Mandi House all the way to MHRD, like I said, but they were stopped, one of them, at the JNU campus itself. Later, we are told that they were finally allowed to march all the way, but they have basically three demands. Number one, steady inquiry into what happened on the 5th. However, they continue to say that Delhi police is incompetent to do so, as they might be hand in glove, is their allegation, as they purposely did not come in and intervene while the attack was going on inside JNU. In fact, their allegation of the students is that they shut off the school, the street lights in various colleges and schools inside the campus and hostels there, and in a way aided those attacks at the students inside the campus by goons, men and women who came from outside. Number two demand is the removal of the VC altogether. They are saying nothing but the removal of the current Vice Chancellor, who has a huge trust deficit with the teachers, with the faculty, with the students over there, has to go. And third, of course, is the fact that there are these ongoing protests and attacks that are happening on students all over universities and schools and colleges across the country, which need to stop. So with these three demands, they were going to march all the way, and that is what is on our minds as well. But talking about JNU and coming back to the poll of the day, where it's about how come no arrests have taken place in this matter. Like we said, remember, I'm just going to quickly recap for you. 3 FIRs have been registered by the Delhi police on violence at JNU. 2 of them are from the days before the main violence day, which was the 5th, on the 3rd and the 4th. These FIRs, one of them, have been filed by the JNU administration, but that is against Aishi Ghosh and several other left leaders for trying to obstruct the registration process, and they say that Aishi Ghosh, along with others, indulge in violence. This has been filed. Who's the complainant in this case? The complainant in this case is the JNU administration. It names her. It also goes on to say that she's clearly personally culpable for that. The FIR for the main violence does not name anyone. The crime branch hasn't picked up anybody for detention yet or for questioning, and the crime branch also hasn't been able to identify anyone. But in response to the earlier FIR against Aishi Ghosh, the update is this. Aishi Ghosh herself has now decided to go and file a case. This picture, remember, has now become the poster image for violence against students in the country, really. She decided to go to the police and file a case for what happened to her. And she's given a blow-by-blow account of what she went through. I'm just going to quote some of those pieces from here, which are now part of the official FIR. She went to the police station and said that while I have repeatedly gone and said what happened to me, they didn't register a case. So I'm now specially going and asking them to file one where I will be the complainant, and I want to find out who are these people who attacked me. Let me just take you through some of the very troubling details that she lays out in her FIR. She says, I was attacked by persons collectively and hit on the head multiple times with iron rods. I fell on the ground and my head started bleeding. And some of them kicked me and hit me with a rod on my head and rest of my body, including my head, my chest and back. The intention of the group of men and their acts were definitely to murder me. The group also hurled abuses, sexual expletives at me and physically molested me. One of them screamed, "Maar denge, kaat denge, will kill you." It goes on to say, it is with great anguish and pain I have to write that there were police personnel at the main gate, but they remained mute spectators. And this she has filed against BJP-linked student groups, ABVP activists, and said that they threatened to kill my life. It is an FIR now which is against wanting to murder someone that has now been filed by Aishi Ghosh, and she says she will file this complaint. The complaint, whether or not it will turn into an FIR, is something we wait to hear. But at the moment, it is a battle of FIRs with the Delhi police. But when it comes to the main instance of violence, we haven't really seen any movement on that just yet, despite multiple videos being out there, despite multiple eyewitnesses' account being there as well. That's it for today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.